Imagine knowing that everything you experience is a reality you are creating. Imagine finally understanding that with the right belief system, you never have to be sick. Imagine never having to worry or have fear about anything because you are in control of it all. What will you do when you find out this is all true and what you have been told to believe is false? It is time to learn the truth. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reality Changer Radio. I hope everyone's doing good. And tonight, you're going to notice that the live broadcast is not able to be found. That's because at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be meeting with some fellow organizers of the Los Angeles chapter of Parenting 2.0. And I just joined this organization. If you guys have checked out my Facebook page or my LinkedIn page, you'll notice that I just joined with them. And it's a wonderful group. I highly encourage everybody out there who's not even a parent to look up this organization, Parenting 2.0. Marlene Cover is the main founding member. And, it's all geared towards really teaching children life skills that school doesn't teach them and that they haven't been taught at home for several generations now. So tonight what I'd like to talk about is going to be covered also in a meetup group that I'm having this coming Saturday, the 24th. And what it's about is pain and positive energy flow. And I highly encourage everyone who's listening to this to not skip the live in-person meetup group this Saturday because you think you've heard it all, because we're going to cover a lot more than what you're able to hear here. But I would like to discuss the programming. Now, I always talk about the conditional programming that we have as children, and I'd like to talk about that tonight in regards to taking on other people's pain and sympathy. One of the things that most of us are taught as kids is to be sympathetic, to feel compassion, to feel empathy, and to not ignore others that are in pain or may need help, which is a noble thing. We all should be there for each other no matter what, and help each other out. And that's what our spirit calls for. I mean, that's what we are. We're spiritual beings. Again, I beat that dead horse. We are not human beings. And as spiritual beings, we are made up of love and energy, and we only strive to help each other out. Even when we give the wrong advice, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, even if it's with the wrong information. When we teach each other how to be compassionate, we once again draw from the well of misinformation, and we include way too much sadness. Way too much. We do the same kind of thing that we do when we're teaching gratitude. Unless you're somehow as disfigured as somebody, or as mentally ill as somebody, or as sad as somebody, or as distraught as somebody, then a lot of times you supposedly appear as if you're not really that sympathetic. You've heard the sayings, well, he's a cold-hearted bastard, or, wow, do you have any feelings at all? And to that I would say that sure, there's people out there that aren't sympathetic like they should be, but then when you're real, And what I mean by that is when you're really in spirit and you're acting as spirit should act, the old school programming would make you appear like a cold-hearted bastard that doesn't care. And that's why I talk to a lot of people about distancing themselves from everyone on a certain level. Because what happens is our energy goes out. We have no option about that. So I've talked about many times, the law of attraction is based around that. Our energy goes out and comes back, whatever we put out there. So when our energy goes out, we are vulnerable to energy coming in. And unless we realize what's going on, we can take on someone else's energy, good, bad, or indifferent. You want to take on the good. You always want to take on the good. Fortunately, a lot of us out there are surrounding ourselves by people with mainly good energy, but always keep in mind that you need to be aware that who you're with and who's in your inner circle. And quite frankly, if most of the people around you are not beneficial to your energy, then as harsh as it sounds to all of you old school programmers, you need to cut them off. Because, tell them how you're able to be happy and then let them go. And if they come back to you and they're happy, fine, let them back in. But if they're not willing to take the choice, because you always have free will, if they're not willing to take the choice of changing their energy levels to where they're mostly happy most of the time, then they're going to infect you. And they're just going to be a source of aggravation for you because you're not going to be able to deal with them. So where I'm going with all this is, I'll give you a great example. Let's say, for instance, we're talking old school programming now, where you need to be very, very, very sympathetic, okay? Somebody's cat dies, and a person is really close to you. And you like the cat, you've played with the cat before, so you get a little sad about the cat dying. So you have your own sadness there. But the person comes to you and is just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. One of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to emulate the person whose cat died. Don't go into the sadness that deeply, because what you're going to do is you're going to take that on. All that negative energy, all that sadness, you're going to take that on and you're going to own that on your own until you find a way to get rid of it. Now, how often do you want to have to do that? You've worked so hard trying to get your happiness energy going full steam ahead, and now because of some old school programming slip, someone comes along and you do what you've been told to do, is you allow their sadness into your heart in an effort to show compassion. Well, folks, you don't have to do that to show compassion. It's like somebody just killed themselves, and so you slit your wrists in front of the family to show compassion. It's the same kind of thing. You don't have to do that. It's the same thing with gratitude. You don't have to go as far as you've been told you have to go in order to do what you normally would do, and that is to be compassionate, be sympathetic, and be understanding. We have perverted that entire process. A lot of people just, you see groups, it depends on the culture, but some woman's husband dies and there's 87 women outside her door just weeping and moaning for days. What the hell? You've got to stop the madness. This is ridiculous. You don't do that, okay? You're just going to take that on. Somebody's angry. It's the old saying, folks, misery loves company. Somebody's angry. Oh, that bastard. Oh, that SOB. Oh, that, did you see what happened? Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then the reason that they're telling you all this is because they're trusting that you're a better friend to them than you are to the SOB that pissed them off. That's what they're trusting. And the other thing that they're trusting on, they're trusting old school programming. Because old school programming says, if you are as good a friend as you say you are, you will not like anyone I don't like. You'll like everyone I like. And you'll get pissed off when I'm upset. Because that's what your parents taught you. And that was the slave-master routine that I so often mention. And so somebody comes to you and, oh, that SOB, and, did you hear what they said? And, oh, how could they, and all this? And they want you to say the same thing. They want you to feel just as angry and just as put out and just as pissed off as they are. But you need to avoid that. And you can be sympathetic and be understanding and be on their side without taking on that anger, without making that part of your reality. You can sit there and you can say, wow, that's really harsh and that kind of thing. But if you're really a good friend, and you already get what life is really about, then at some point you're going to have to ask your really good friend, why did they put themselves in a situation where they needed to be yelled at or made fun of or ripped off or whatever it was that upset them? You're going to have to ask them, why did you do that to yourself? Because if you don't, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, you're not really owning up to the concept that you create all of this. And number two, you're not really being a good friend. Because if a good friend wants you to sit there and listen to them pissing and moaning, well, the least you can do is make them listen to you not pissing and moaning. And to actually giving advice and asking questions. And when they say, what do you mean? And explain to them what I always talk about. Explain to them about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And yeah, on a conscious level, no, I never would have done that to myself. But that situation didn't happen from the conscious level. It never does. The conscious level just reacts to what's going on. It's the subconscious that does all it's that does all of it. The conscious mind is there just to, talk things out and handle the reality that the subconscious is creating. Each one of them work as a team member, and each team member has its job. The subconscious creates the reality, and the conscious mind deals with it. And the biggest problem in the old school programming is that old school programming says you deal with what's going on a conscious level only. Not even taking into account that the conscious mind didn't create any of this, so how could it possibly fix it? All it can do is react and act by reacting. It's like a counterattack when you never attacked. Oh, what? So, if you're a really, really good friend, and this person is super sad or super unhappy or this kind of thing, and I'm not talking about their parents dying, I mean, that's a little different. But again, you can't take on that sadness. You can't. You have to build a barrier, a wall. Some people would say, oh, you're insincere and all this. No, you're not. Those people that think there's something wrong with you because you're not down on your knees weeping and banging your head on the floor, those people are the ones that need your help. Those people are the ones that are stuck in the old school programming. Those are the same people that, hey, if I help you change your tire, then, the next time my car's stuck, you should come over and help me do it. No, you shouldn't. You don't have to just because I helped you change your tire. It would be nice if you did. But helping you change your tire doesn't obligate you in any way other than to say thank you and truly be grateful. It should be enough. And the same with emotions. Someone's happy, hey, get into it, because we all need more happiness. But all of this negativity, the sadness and the anger and the depression and everything else needs to take a ride to Neverland. And I mean never. And the only way that you're going to remain what's truly a good friend is that A, you don't take on their emotions, and B, eventually you explain to them how great life is for you and tell them they're making this for themselves. Why did she need her cat to die? Was there something? There's always something. Nothing happens for no reason. There's no coincidences. There's always something going on. Perhaps the only way that this person could ever show emotion was to have something drastic happen to her that meant a lot to her, like her cat dying. Now she cries for the first time, and you never know when somebody's standing around watching going, wow, that's the first time I've ever seen her care about anything. And so now maybe she's opening up because of that. Who knows? Everything happens for a reason, folks. There are no coincidences. So do yourself a favor and do your friends a favor and your family as well. Your family most of all, because they're the ones you're going to deal with most of the time, hopefully. But even if they're not, they're still in your life. And you don't have to reform everybody. You don't have to be one of those, well, if you just did this. No, you need to shut up and leave them alone. But it doesn't hurt, and it's okay to make comments about your own life as an example. We're taught to live everyone's life for them. We're taught to be in everyone's damn business. And everybody just needs to mind their own damn business. Okay? Because it's not your business. It's not my business. It's not his business. It's not her business. Just leave it alone. You want to give advice, and then leave it alone. A lot of people, well, if you had done what I said, oh, shut up. If I ever did what you said, then I would have been dead a long time ago. Really, you just need to have everybody mind their own business. And I don't mean, not be concerned. But we're taught to just poke our nose into everything. And we do it on a macrocosm, on a national level as well. Everybody just needs to back off and remember that the only reality that you're going to change is yours. So take the old school programming and send it to Neverland, because that's where it belongs. You're not going to change a damn thing in anyone's life by poking your nose into their business and trying to explain to them what they need to do. Okay? Well, what I would do is, okay? Now, by the same token, am I poking my nose in your business? I don't know. Am I? Or am I just standing here flapping my gums, giving you an opportunity to listen or not? You don't have to listen to me. You don't listen to me? Hey, fine, don't listen to me. I'm just trying to get the word out there. I'm just trying to help everybody. And let me tell you something. When somebody comes to me and says, wow, my life's just a little better because I listened to you, I'm like, wow, that's cool. Because maybe I do have something to say that's worth listening to. But if you want to have a better life, and you want to start having people keep their nose out of your business, then start keeping your nose out of their business. No matter, even if they want you desperately to be involved, don't do it. Don't take on their emotions. Do not take on their emotions. Oh, and by the way, for those in the back, do not take on their emotions. Because, listen, you're trying to make stuff happen. You're trying to manifest your reality. You're trying to, have the law of attraction work for you. You are trying to create a better life for yourself and your family. You don't need the interruptions of somebody else's agenda. And that's really what it is. It's somebody else who wants to, who doesn't feel comfortable enough with their own pain. They want to share the wealth. Misery loves company. They want you to be just as angry or just as sad or just as depressed as they are, because then that kind of vindicates the whole victim mentality that the conscious mind loves to wallow in. Okay? So don't take on their emotions. Build yourself a wall. You don't have to shut everyone off. You just have to shut them down. And shut yourself down, you know? Stop being so ooh, ooh, ooh. And don't repeat the sadness to somebody. Well, did you hear what Jane said? Ah, her foot fell off. That's a damn shame. I hope my foot doesn't fall. Because, you know, that's the kind of thing that happens. People start going, well, geez, I better be careful, you know. And then you start spreading that old worry crap. You know, for no reason. No reason at all. Because somebody was way too easy to take on somebody else's energy, their sadness or their anger. And then, you know, how people, you know, well, the story's only true if 27 people have changed it before I heard it. You know how it goes. And then you get on the whole, well, I hope that doesn't happen to me, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, stop it. You know, really, everybody, just stop it. You have to draw the line in the sand. If you're going to be controlling your own life and having a 90% success rate at being happy, okay, then there's certain things that you have to do by breaking old habits of the old school programming, and one of them is not taking on other people's negative energy. And changing your belief system about it, okay? You got to stop believing, if you haven't already, stop believing that the only way to show sympathy or empathy is by mimicking the person that you're trying to show it to. It's the same thing with gratitude. It's not necessary, and what it does is it only makes 2 people sad or angry, or 3 or 4 or 5. When the reality is, if the person that you're trying to be sympathetic towards was living the life you're attempting to live, there'd be a lot less of that going on. Okay? Let me say that again because it's really important. If the person that you're trying to show sympathy or empathy to was doing things for their own life like you're doing, there would be a lot less times that you would need to address this situation and show them sympathy or empathy, because it wouldn't be in their reality. Okay? It just wouldn't be there. So ponder on what I've said tonight. You know, you cannot be taking on other people's energy, other people's negative energy. Everybody wants you to. And if you don't, and if you distance yourself, listen, somebody wants to have an argumentative conversation with you instead of a dialogue, you just turn around and walk away. Do not get involved. People go, oh, so you're just going to turn around and walk away? And you go, yes, I am, because I'm not going there. And I'm talking about your personal relationships. I'm talking about whether you were dealing with your spouses or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or your significant other, whoever it is, family members, doesn't matter. When they start arguing and start getting nasty, and everyone has the chance of doing it, you just turn around and you look at them. You can do 2 things. You can look at them and go, you have an option here. You can stop this negative energy so that I stay in the room, or I walk out until you're ready to talk civilly. And don't give it any thought either, because what that's going to do is that's going to attach that negativity to your feelings. You don't want to give it any thought. You just matter-of-factly are not going to be in that energy. And if they don't want to understand, that's too bad. That is too bad. Because that's their reality for not understanding. And the more they won't understand why you won't put up with it, the longer they're going to have issues of their own. So you need to look out for yourself. And anybody wants to start pissing and moaning, You say, look, I feel bad for you, but I'm not going to listen to this. I can't be around you like that, and I'm not going to be. So your choice. You want me here or you don't want me here, but if you're going to keep on like this, I'm walking out of the room. And again, when you do this, do not attach any emotion to it. Just be matter-of-factly. This is where it is. I understand. And see, that's the thing, too. You're showing compassion that way. You're showing that you understand this person has issues that they haven't fully dealt with. Or they wouldn't be yelling at you, or bitching at you, or whatever it is. Okay? So don't attach any emotion to it. Just be matter-of-factly. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you in a few minutes when you're calmed down. And if they don't calm down, well, then you don't talk to them. Plain and simple. Sometimes you have to get hard-nosed with people that won't get it. But don't give in. Don't give in, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to give in. They want you to yell at them. They want you to argue with them. It justifies that conscious crap. Don't do that. Okay, you know better. You're just going to go somewhere and you're going to redirect your point of attention to something else. And don't give it any thought, because you weren't thinking about it before it started. So just go right back to your own peaceful self and, go do something, and then, very calmly, matter-of-factly later on, get with them and say, hey, are you ready to talk, or you still want to yell? And then, you take it from there. But don't give it any emotion, okay? And don't take on people's negativity. It's not necessary to be just as compassionate as you've always been. And if they think you're being a little distant, explain it to them. Not at that moment. Pick a time when you both don't have anything to do, and you sit down, you go, look, I want to explain something to you about how I'm living my life these days. And it doesn't mean I don't love you any less. Doesn't mean that I'm not your friend, None of that changed. But how I react and how I use my energy towards your issues is drastically changing. And I want you to be aware of it, and I want you to understand that you can do this too, and when you're ready, I can help you. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine. That's none of my business. Okay? So, just explain to everybody. You're not in the shit business anymore. You're not going to put up with it. You're not going to take it, and you're definitely not going to deal with it. And it doesn't matter who it's coming from. You now are on the path of not only self-realization, but of a clearer mind and more happiness. And live by example. When your friends say, well, what's it got in you? Well, I got you to shut up, didn't I? I mean, seriously, live by example. And that's the easiest way to teach people, is to live by example. Hey, when I'm in my classes, I'm doing my workshops and all of that, I tell people personal stories. People always ask me, well, what's it got in you? Well, let's see. Let me pull up my list here, and I'll tell you how successful I've been with it when I wanted to be. Okay? So, this Saturday, we're going to cover a whole lot of stuff. All right? The easiest way for you to register for this Saturday's class is go to my website, whatyouThinkIsWhatYouGet.com, and click on the classes button at the bottom and look for the meetup class for August 24th, Pain and Positive Energy Flow. Basically, I've just given you a Cliff Notes version of what the class is going to be like, but we're going to explore a whole lot more. We're going to explore different examples, going to talk to people about their own personal feelings, and we're really going to bring it out, throw it on the table, kick it around, and get everybody in a happier spot. All right, so the easiest way to sign up, look, become a member of my meetup group. hey, it's free. It's free to join. So it doesn't cost you a dime to join the meetup group. And it's only $5 a meeting. I mean, come on. For $5, you can change your life. All right? And that just covers the cost of the meetup page. All right? I don't really make a dime off of this, but I'm doing it to help you and to get the word out. Okay? So go to the classes button on my website, whatyouthinkiswhatyouget.com, and check out what's going on. September is jam-packed again. September 3rd, we start our online classes, another round of them. There's 4 of them altogether. And the first one starts September 3rd. We're into 3 and 4 right now for August. September 4th and 5th, I start the basic classes in person. On the 4th, basic classes start again at the Everyday Zen Relaxation Studio in Long Beach. And on September 5th, we start them in Fullerton at the Owl's Lantern in Fullerton on Euclid. So if you can't make the ones in Long Beach, you can come to the ones in Fullerton, whichever one is easier for you. Okay. In Long Beach, they're on Wednesdays at 6:30, and Fullerton, they're Thursdays at 7 p.m. Okay? But go check out the classes and the workshops. Again, do yourself a favor and sign up as a member on Meetup. The link is in the classes, so if you're not sure how to get there, it's Torrance Law of Attraction. But the easiest way is to go to one of the classes in the class section on the website. You'll see the Meetup logo. Click on there. There's a link to the Meetup page, and you can just go on there and join for free and be updated and get in on all of this. It's like I said, it's free to join, and it's only $5 a class, and each class is at least an hour or so. And we cover really important topics. Most of them I run out of my home. Some, if they're depending on the size of the class, I'll run out of my office. So go ahead and do that. Be sure to check out the classes that are coming up in September. Also have a workshop coming up in Anaheim on September 28th. It's a 3-hour workshop. Check that out. It's at the Learning Light Foundation in Anaheim. Okay? Check out Parenting 2.0. And also, if you guys are up for it, on September 7th, it's a Saturday, it's a Natural and Holistic Baby Expo 2013 is coming to the Bungalow Art Building and Theater on Pine Avenue in Long Beach. The website is nahbe.com, and you can get tickets on there. This is presented by the Zen Baby Shop. This couple is really, really nice, and they have a mission, and it's awesome. I will be there, so if you're coming to this event, look me up. If you see me, grab my sleeve and say, hey, Dave, what's going on, dude? So that's that for this week. Just remember, don't take on negative emotion, but if you want to really get into this pain and positive energy flow, join me this Saturday at 10 a.m. at my place in Gardena. Go to the meetup page, sign up for free, and come down. Bring $5 with you and learn some stuff that you've never learned before. Okay? I love everybody. Much love out there. And remember, be kind to yourself and always talk about yourself in a positive light. Remember, power of words. Everything you say has power. Okay? So, every morning that you wake up, I want you to sit on the edge of the bed and say, I am wonderful, I am beautiful, and I am everything. Okay? So until next time, kids, next week, I'm going to have something special for you because Labor Day is coming, and it'll all be job-oriented. All right? You won't want to miss it. So until next time, I will see you guys. Well, I won't see you guys. Maybe I will see you guys. Who knows? I do remote viewing also, but that's another class. Haha, teaser. Everybody have a wonderful week, and I love you all. Bye-bye. All right, well, that's it for today's show, folks. I hope you enjoyed it and are a little closer to living life on your terms. Join me next week, won't you, for another mind-blowing show about the truth of reality. Until then, my reality is not your reality. What are you creating today?